Good afternoon, everyone. First Alert Storm Team meteorologist Joseph Williams with your Valley News Now First Alert Weather Day afternoon forecast. And, well, it's certainly busy. As I mentioned, it is a First Alert Weather Day, and that's because we're dealing with blizzard conditions in parts of our region this afternoon. We already saw some blizzard conditions this morning, and some areas are still seeing blowing snow and low visibility as we head into the afternoon hours. And it's looking like it won't be until the late evening hours that the winds die down and that blowing snow threat begins to cease. But thereafter, we're dealing with some bitterly cold temperatures and bitterly cold wind chills moving in overnight into Monday morning. And I will go over the temperature in just a second, but let's talk about the blowing snow first. So let's get right to the forecast to kind of show you what I'm talking about. Again, we have that First Alert Weather Day for Sunday because of blowing snow across our region, particularly in the Red River Valley. That's where we're seeing the worst visibility. That's where we're seeing the lowest visibility, the strongest winds, and therefore the greatest impacts. In fact, we have some road closures in the Red River Valley due to that blowing snow. And then, as I mentioned, overnight into Monday morning, as the winds die down, we're still dealing with Arctic air pushing into a region that will lead to wind chills in the 30s below zero. So again, just to recap, First Alert Weather Day for this Sunday because of the blowing snow threat across our region due to the strong northwesterly winds that will continue until the late evening hours. And that's going to lead to whiteout conditions and travel impacts. So let's look at our road conditions to kind of show you what I was talking about. The big story, at least in terms of road conditions, is the fact we do have some road closures. Now, for context, we do have no travel advised in northeast North Dakota, but for example, the roads in Langdon, they're still open. It just means that it's best to stay at home if you're in northeast North Dakota because we have been seeing blowing snow in these areas. Even out in Devil's Lake, we do have some patchy snow and patchy ice out on I-94 in the James River Valley. So you can travel here. It's just, again, best to stay at home if you're in the James River Valley or Devil's Lake Basin this afternoon. Again, with that no travel advised in northeast North Dakota. However, we do have road closures on I-29, from Fargo all the way to the Canadian border. The I-29 road from Fargo all the way to Canada is closed, and that's because we've been seeing blowing snow in those areas, leading to near zero visibility. We also have road closures in parts of northwest Minnesota. So let's take a closer look. Again, areas, I-29 on both highways from Fargo to Grand Forks is closed down due to blowing snow in those areas. And to the west of I-29, we do have no travel advised for areas near Findlay and Mayville, for example, out near Page as well as Castleton. So if you're on 94 in Castleton, although I-94 is still open, no travel is advised. So it's best, again, to stay at home if you are in Cass County. But I-29 between Fargo and Grand Forks is closed, as well as some roads out in west central Minnesota. So the roads near Ada and Crookston, for example, they are closed due to that blowing snow taking place there. And again, the I-29 from Grand Forks to Canada is also closed due to the blowing snow. No travel advised again in northeast North Dakota, and still those road closures in between Howlock and Crookston, for example, due to the blowing snow. So overall, road conditions are not good road conditions are not good if you're in the Red River Valley. If you're in the Red River Valley, it's best to stay at home this afternoon and evening if you can. And that's, again, because of that blowing snow taking place. Let's take a look at our traffic cameras as an example. Out in Pemmican, there's barely any visibility. Donaldson, you can see the road a little bit, but beyond that, can't really see much. Grand Forks, not seeing much visibility either. Warren, classic winter scene. It looks kind of haunting with that snow making it look like there's fog out there, but that's really just blowing snow pushing through. And we're having blowing snow taking place in the Red River Valley. That's because of all the snow showers, all that snow accumulation that we saw yesterday night into this morning that's getting whipped up by the strong winds. And also, well, just a few seconds earlier, this weather camera out of the Red River Fairgrounds, or camera out of the Red River Fairgrounds, we couldn't even see the highway. And that's kind of what's going on in the Fargo-Moorhead area. We're getting some intermittent whiteouts conditions, so there will be times where visibility is okay, but other times where visibility is not good. And that's kind of what we're seeing here in the Red River Fairgrounds. We had barely any visibility to the point where we couldn't even see the highway with this camera. And that's essentially what we're going to be seeing throughout much of the day. Intermittent whiteout conditions at the bare minimum. Some areas seeing whiteout conditions for a long period of time because of the strong winds pushing on through and lifting that snow into the air and leading to low visibility. So yeah, be careful if you have to travel today. And again, I-29 from Fargo to the Canadian border is closed, as well as some of the roads in northwest Minnesota. You can go to valleynewslive.com and click on the weather tab to see what road reports, go to the bottom of the page basically to see what road, what roads are open and which roads are not. Anyways, the reason why we're seeing all those road closures is because of the wind. This is the real story here. We have strong winds coming in from the north and northwest, gusting up to 41 miles per hour in Grand Forks, 36 miles per hour in Devils Lake, 44 miles per hour in Fargo, and the sustained winds, while weaker, are pretty strong too. We got a sustained wind up to 30 miles per hour in Jamestown versus 30 miles per hour in Fargo. And all those wind gusts in the 30 to 45 mile per hour range, again, they're lofting that material into the air and they're leading to that low visibility. We're seeing a stretch of low visibility, in fact, from the Northern Valley all the way into Lakes Country. So these areas here, they're seeing the worst of that blowing snow, and it's likely going to be this way for the next several hours because of the blowing snow taking place on there. So I'm getting a comment right now. He says, someone is asking, how are travel conditions between Fergus Falls and Detroit Lakes? I'd say not good. So let's take a closer look. So the green color here represents visibility of half a mile or less. And so that's likely because of that blowing snow taking place here. So again, I wouldn't recommend going to Detroit Lakes or Fergus Falls this afternoon or the evening, as we'll continue seeing that blowing snow taking place. I think travel conditions are not going to be good in Detroit Lakes or Fergus Falls or anywhere in between those areas. So if we can, I'll go back to road reports in just a bit, but for now, basically the issue is low visibility taking place between Detroit Lakes and Fergus Falls due to that blowing snow. So basically, much of the Red River Valley seeing tricky travel conditions due to the snow getting lofted into the air. Now the good news is that we are seeing some clearing skies in northeast North Dakota. Satellite and radar showing drier air filtering into northeast North Dakota, which is why we're seeing little cloud cover there. We are seeing that cloud cover moving southeast. Do have a few flakes being picked up on the radar both because of the moisture trying to reach the surface and also because of that moisture getting lofted into the air due to the strong winds. So, but the bulk of the snow shower activity that we saw this morning, it's out of our region. We're just left with a few snow showers out in northeast South Dakota this afternoon. And I think those flurries and showers, they will dissipate over the next hour or two at most. So we should be done with snowfall within the next hour or so. It's really that blowing snow threat that's going to be the main issue. And because of the strong winds lofting that all that snow into the air and leading to low visibility, blizzard warnings are in effect for the Red River Valley until 9 p.m., whereas winter weather advisories are in effect for the James River Valley until 6 p.m., for central Minnesota until 6 p.m., and for Brown County in South Dakota until 9 p.m. So, and the reason for that blizzard warning is, again, the Red River Valley is most susceptible to those strong winds and blowing snow leading to low visibility in those locations. In fact, wind gusts here at times can get close to 60 miles per hour. I know we had a wind gust in the Northern Valley that was close to 50 miles per hour, and that's going to be the case throughout the next several hours. We could see wind gusts getting close to 50 miles per hour, maybe higher than that in the Red River Valley as we head into the next several hours. Here's a look at a wind gust planner to show you what is going on. Starting the clock at 3:30 p.m., we're still dealing with that strong northwesterly flow. Now, I think this model is underestimating winds just a bit. Remember, some areas we're seeing wind gusts above 40 miles per hour, but for example, this model wants Grand Forks wind gust at 38. But still, I'm thinking wind gusts will be in the 35 plus mile per hour range for the next several hours. As indicated by this orange swath here, wind gusts will be in the 30 to 45 mile per hour range for the next several hours. And if you look closely, you can even see some red blotches on the map here. That indicates wind gusts getting above 45 miles per hour. So a good way to think about this is that for the next several hours, we're dealing with strong northwesterly winds gusting at or above 35 miles per hour. And that means we'll continue seeing a blowing snow threat over the next several hours. Even by the time the 10 o'clock show starts, we're still looking at wind gusts in the 35 mile per hour range in the Southern Valley and Lakes Country. It won't be until about midnight, in fact, that the winds are really dying down across our region. But we're still looking at wind gusts in the 30 plus mile per hour range in the Southern Valley and Lakes Country by midnight. So I think there will be some isolated pockets of blowing snow even in Lakes Country and the Southern Valley, even by midnight, whereas the Northern Valley will finally start seeing a break from that blowing snow by midnight. And then heading into Monday morning, the winds will be dying down completely. We're just looking at a standard breeze by Monday morning across our region. So that blowing snow threat should start going away after midnight. So that's the good news. However, we'll still have some lingering travel impacts due to snow on the roads, so you'll want to give yourself some extra time on the roads if you're heading out for Monday morning. Put another way, in Fargo, we'll continue seeing strong wind gusts throughout the day. That's the wrong version of the graphic, but here's a look at Fergus Falls. Apparently I forgot to update the Fargo graphic, my apologies. But in Fergus Falls, we'll continue seeing wind gusts at or above 40 miles per hour for the next few hours. They'll drop below 40 miles per hour by 7 o'clock, but wind gusts will still be at or above 30 miles per hour up until after midnight when the winds die down in Lakes Country. So Lakes Country will likely see some isolated blowing snow at least, isolated pockets of low visibility at least, even after midnight. And the Southern Valley, same situation, because wind gusts will still be in the 30 plus mile per hour range in the Southern Valley. But the Northern Valley, meanwhile, they should see winds dying down as we head into the late evening hours. So by midnight, I think that blowing snow threat will basically go away in the Northern Valley. As for what the rest of the forecast is looking like, well, the good news, like I mentioned, any leftover flurries and showers, they should go away within the next hour or two. And I'm thinking by like 6 to 7 o'clock, we're just looking at overcast skies across our region, with, again, the only issue being that blowing snow due to strong northwesterly winds lofting that snow into the air. Overnight into Monday morning, we will see that cloud cover break it up, leading to partly sunny skies by Monday morning. The other thing that we are first alert tracking, if you remember at the start of the video, I mentioned the cold that we're first alert tracking along with the blowing snow for this Sunday. And that's because behind that clipper system that brought the wind and the snow our way is Arctic air, which is going to lead to wind chills as low as 40 below zero in spots, and that may cause frostbite in as little as 10 minutes. Now, the Red River Valley is under this cold weather advisory until midday, whereas the James River Valley, such as Stutsman County, they're under a cold weather advisory until 10 a.m. as they're looking at wind chills only dropping to 35 below. But the point is, nearly all of our region, except for northeast South Dakota, is under a cold weather advisory, and that's because we're looking at wind chills in the 30s below zero. That could lead to frostbite in as little as 10 minutes. And that's all thanks to this Arctic air pushing in from Canada into our region. That's what the pink color represents. And as that Arctic air settles in, well, some areas are still hanging on to single digits above zero, but we're looking at sub-zero temperatures in between Fargo and Hallock, for example. So the northern areas are below zero, and all of our region will see below zero temperatures over the next several hours as that cold air pushes in. Because of the strong winds and because of the cold temperatures, wind chills are very cold indeed. We're looking at wind chills in the teens below zero in the Southern Valley versus 20s to 30s below zero in the Northern Valley, Northeast North Dakota, and Northwest Minnesota. So if nothing else, it's not really a good idea to travel today, because if your car breaks down or you get stuck on the road due to the snow and the wind, you're going to have to deal with this bitterly cold weather. You'll definitely want to have a winter survival kit in your car then to account for that blowing snow. Now, looking at our wind chill forecast over the next several hours, by the 8 o'clock hour, some areas will continue seeing wind chills in the 30s below zero. I think by the 8 o'clock hour, all of southeast North Dakota will see wind chills in the 20s below zero. Same deal with the Southern Valley. And then overnight into Monday morning, we're looking at wind chills in the 30s below zero across nearly our entire region. It's not until Monday afternoon, when daytime heating takes hold, that we quote-unquote warm up. I say quote-unquote warm up because we're still looking at wind chills in the teens below zero. So it's not going to be as cold as tomorrow morning, but tomorrow afternoon will still be frigid. Let's take a look at Monday morning's temperature and wind chill, just to give some context as to what we're dealing with. We're looking at an air temperature of 10 below with a wind chill of 32 below in Devils Lake. Similar temperature in Lakota and in Langdon. In northwest Minnesota, we're looking at an air temperature of 18 below with a wind chill of 39 below in Roseau. And down south, we're looking at a wind chill of an air temperature of 10 below with a wind chill of 30 below in Fargo. So we're looking at sub-zero temperatures to teens below zero for our lows, and the wind chills will be in the 30s below zero across most of our region. Now by tomorrow afternoon, like I mentioned, we do warm up. We will see daytime heating. We will see air temperatures climbing above zero, but we're still looking at wind chills in the teens to even low 20s below zero. And then we get another cold morning on our hands with air temperatures being in the single digits to teens below zero and wind chills in the 20s below zero across our region. So let's recap everything. Cold air really settling in. Once the snow stops blowing as we head into Sunday night, once the winds start settling down, again, we'll continue seeing blowing snow across the region over the next several hours. It's going to lead to low visibility and travel impacts. So again, I-29 between Fargo and Canada is closed as of 3:38 p.m., 3:39 p.m. due to the blowing snow taking place on the interstate. Parts of some of the roads in northwest Minnesota are also closed down as of 3:39 as well due to those travel impacts. And again, we are going to continue seeing that blowing snow threat over the next several hours. So keep the VNL First Alert Weather app handy. Best to stay at home if you can for the next several hours, but if you have to travel, the VNL First Alert Weather app will be your friend. Make sure to have a winter survival kit in your car or truck, such as a blanket, some food, water, and flashlight, for example. And then overnight into Monday morning, we'll see that blowing snow threat going away. But we will see cold temperatures from the morning commute. Wind chills will be in the 30s below zero. Warm back up to the single digits Monday afternoon. Another round of 20s below zero for the wind chill Tuesday morning before we warm back up into the double digits for Tuesday and Wednesday afternoon. But we are looking at some snow showers for Tuesday and Wednesday. And then, basically that means some travel impacts are possible for Tuesday and Wednesday too. So we'll have to keep an eye as we'll see some scattered snow showers between Tuesday evening and Wednesday morning. Thereafter, towards the end of the week, we are first alert tracking another round of bitterly cold air settling into our region. We're looking at sub-zero highs and morning lows in the teens to even 20s below zero between Friday and Saturday, and even for Sunday morning too. So keep the VNL First Alert Weather app handy. That will keep the VNL First Alert Weather app handy as we get towards the end of the week, as we First Alert track some more bitterly cold air into our region. So yeah, that's what we're going to be dealing with. Now I promised that we would take a look at the road conditions heading into the afternoon and evening hours. Someone asked how are travel conditions between Fergus Falls and Detroit Lakes. I answered that a little bit earlier, said that we did have some low visibility between Detroit Lakes and Fergus Falls because of the strong winds pushing through. I'm having to scroll back because I have a lot of graphics. I apologize. But basically, again, we do have that blowing snow threat taking place across the region. Here's a look at the visibility. Again, looks like we have basically no visibility in Fergus Falls. We have only half a mile visibility in Detroit Lakes. And we're still dealing with low visibility across the Red River Valley. So as of 3:42 p.m., yeah, not good out there with that low visibility across the region. And the reason for the, and again, that's because of the strong winds pushing through our region that's leading to those travel impacts. So let's go back a little bit more. Should be able to see, there's the road conditions. So here's a look at road conditions between Detroit Lakes and Fergus Falls. Generally, some patchy ice is expected in between Detroit Lakes and Fergus Falls. So road conditions are slightly better here compared to, say, in Cass County, North Dakota, where there's a node where travel is not advised. But again, patchy ice can be all it takes to cause some issues. And remember, the big issue is that low visibility due to the snow being lofted into the air. So just keep that in mind. If you have to travel in Lakes Country this afternoon, you're going to be dealing with some low visibility at times, and that can cause some issues with your commute. And again, dealing with patchy ice in the James River Valley and portions of the Devil's Lake Basin versus some patchy ice in parts of northwest Minnesota, such as in Lake of the Woods and Beltrami counties, where we didn't have it, where we had some light snow, but the winds are not as strong. But we're still dealing with some patchy blowing snow in Lakes Country, and that's why, again, I would advise staying at home if you can for this afternoon and evening, even if you're in Lakes Country, because you got patchy ice on the roads and you got strong winds leading to low visibility. So again, best to stay at home, or at the bare minimum, make sure to give yourself some extra time on the roads. Now, I-29 between Fargo and Canada, again, is closed down. We still have road closures in parts of northwest Minnesota. So yeah, travel impacts all around, and travel not advised in northeast North Dakota and in Richland County, for example. So much of the Red River Valley, again, if you're in the Red River Valley or northeast North Dakota, I highly advise, I'd sound like a broken record saying this, staying at home if you can, basically. Just be careful out there for today. But again, just to recap, First Alert Weather Day continuing into Monday morning due to the threat of that blowing snow across our region. Well, the blowing snow stops Sunday night, but bitterly cold wind chills heading into Monday morning. And then we will see some more cold Monday afternoon into Tuesday morning. Warm back up into the teens Tuesday and Wednesday, but we are looking at a few snow showers this upcoming Tuesday and Wednesday. Towards the end of the week, another Arctic air mass pushes into our region, leading to sub-zero afternoon highs and morning lows in the teens and 20s below zero. So keep the VNL First Alert Weather app handy as we get towards the end of the weekend. First Alert track that bitter cold our way. I'm going to get off of here. I'm going to be giving some more updates on the VNL First Alert. Wait, before I go, Deb Fisher just asked, what about I-29 from Fargo to Summit, South Dakota? Well, that is still open from what I understand. So let me go back a little bit. It's going to be a few seconds while I scroll back here. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch over to a different hit. I can do that with this little iPad here. Let's see if it works. But basically, I believe that the roads from Fargo down to Summit, South Dakota, well, generally, South Dakota looks okay in terms of road conditions. We just have some patchy ice in, say, Watertown, for example. But travel is not advised from Fargo down to Hankinson, for example. So Richland County, I-29 heading down into Richland County, travel is not advised. The road is open. The road is open on I-29 from Fargo down into Richland County. So if you're traveling south, you can still get on the road there, but travel is not advised because, again, we've been seeing reports of blowing snow in Richland County. So, Deb, I, again, would advise staying at home if you can, or staying wherever you're at if you can, and at least wait until the late evening hours when the snow begins to settle down if you have to travel south to South Dakota this evening. But basically, travel is not advised in Richland County, and therefore travel is not advised on I-29 from Fargo down into Summit, South Dakota. So that is just something to think about. Again, we are First Alert tracking that blowing snow threat across the Red River Valley. So overall, if you're in the Red River Valley, like I've been saying, and I sound like a broken record again, best to stay at home if you can, or the bare minimum, if you do have to travel, keep a winter survival kit in your car, such as having blankets and a flashlight and some food and water in your car. Give yourself some extra time on the roads too, and definitely keep the VNL First Alert weather app handy. Any other questions? I don't see any other questions, so I'm going to get off of here. Like I mentioned, I will post videos on the VNL First Alert weather app, and I'll be doing that consistently for the next couple of hours. And also, I'll make sure to update the article on the ValleyNewsLive.com web page so that you guys can get the latest weather information on there too, both regarding the blowing snow this evening, as well as the cold temperatures Monday morning, and some of the snow expected, some of the snow and cold expected for the rest of this work week too, and I will go over those details. So actually, let's take one last look at the 11-day planner before I get off of here. I know I'm rambling, and I apologize, but I just want to make sure everyone gets a chance to see this forecast. Again, first low weather day continuing into Monday morning because of dangerously low wind chills across a region. Looking at wind chills in the 30s below zero across much of our region could lead to frostbite in minutes, but big story for today, that blowing snow threat that will continue until Sunday night when the winds settle down. So blizzard conditions still possible in parts of our region. Keep the VNL First Alert weather app handy as we head into Sunday evening. And actually, while I'm still on here, I just want to say I will make sure to give another OTT update. I will be back on here on the OTT live desk to give another Valley News Now evening update between 8 to 8:30. So be sure to tune in between 8 to 8:30 on Facebook and on YouTube. I'll be back on during that period of time to give the latest road updates, see if any of the alerts have changed over or what the alerts might end up doing, as well as go over the rest of Sunday night and Monday morning and give another look at our First Alert forecast. So be sure to tune into that. Again, otherwise I'm going to get off of here real quick and do updates on the Valley News Live First Alert weather app, posting on the Facebook and Twitter and Instagram too. So be sure to tune in to get all those updates. And I'll also be on for Valley News Live at 9 and 10 for tonight. And if you're not able to watch any of those shows, or if you don't want to watch me, it's perfectly fine. You can watch Lisa Green on Valley Today. She'll be back on for Valley Today, and she'll give you the latest headlines, latest traffic reports, and the latest weather forecast for Monday and the rest of the week. But in the meantime, like I said, I'm going to get off of here. Be safe out there, and have a wonderful Sunday. Like I said, have a wonderful, safe Sunday.